5 reasons Stephen King's In the Tall Grass is freaky. A welcome addition to Netflix's lineup of horror movies is In the Tall Grass, an adaptation of Stephen King's novella co-written with his son Joe Hill. Streaming on Netflix starting October 4th, 2019, In the Tall Grass has a freaky narrative that deserves a top spot in your marathon viewing of horror flicks, and here are more reasons why. Number 5, it's the third Stephen King and Netflix film collaboration. Stephen King, the king of horror, has struck a fruitful partnership with streaming giant Netflix in recent years. Not only are Stephen King-inspired TV series like The Mist and classic horror movies such as Christine shown on the streaming service, but also 2 Netflix-produced feature film adaptations. On September 29, 2017, Netflix released the psychological horror thriller film Gerald's Game, based on King's novel. It garnered very positive critical reviews and is widely considered as one of Stephen King's best adaptations ever made. It was followed by 1922, a horror drama movie adapted from King's novella and was released on October 20, 2017. The success of both straight-to-Netflix films has guaranteed a third collaboration with King. Thus, on May 7, 2018, it was announced that Netflix would produce a new adaptation of In the Tall Grass, based on King and Joe Hill's novella. The horror film had its world premiere at Fantastic Fest in September 2019, and will be available on Netflix by October 4th. Will King and Netflix score their third victory? Number 4, it's based on a novella written by Stephen King and his son. A father-son writing tandem was formed in 2009 when Stephen King and his second child, Joseph, using his pen name Joe Hill, published a novella entitled Throttle. The duo came up with their second collaboration in 2012, the horror novella In the Tall Grass. It was originally published in 2 parts in Esquire magazine's July and August 2012 issues. Later in October, In the Tall Grass was released in ebook and audiobook formats. The novella centers on 2 siblings who venture into a vast field of grass after hearing the cry of a boy, but they'll soon find out there's no way out. The intriguing and freaky storyline is the perfect subject for a horror film audiences will surely find appealing, so Netflix purchased the film rights in early 2018, making In the Tall Grass its third film adaptation of a Stephen King work. It's only a matter of time until Netflix strikes gold again, as it did with their first 2 collaborations with King. Number 3, it's directed by sci-fi horror expert Vincenzo Natali. As early as 2015, American-Canadian director-screenwriter Vincenzo Natali announced his interest in doing an adaptation of In the Tall Grass. He was quoted as saying, "Who would think that the grass could be frightening? Trust Stephen King and Joe Hill to find a way. They have transformed an otherwise innocuous Kansas field into a stage for some of the most disturbing horror fiction I've ever read." It was only in 2018 when the project pushed through after Netflix acquired the rights for the novella's film adaptation. Natali was tapped to write the script and direct the horror movie, and he was clearly a fitting choice. He wrote and directed the sci-fi horror thriller films Cypher, Splice, and Cube. The latter was his directorial debut that earned almost $9 million against a $350,000 budget in 1997. He also directed Abigail Breslin in the 2013 supernatural horror film Haunter. In the Tall Grass is Natali's return to directing after 5 years, and of course, a freaky horror tale is the perfect vehicle for his directorial comeback. Number 2, Patrick Wilson of the Conjuring films headlines the movie. The New Scream King. That's the title attached to actor Patrick Wilson on the strength of his successive appearances in different highly successful horror film series. It started when he starred as the father of a boy who becomes a vessel for ghosts in 2010's Insidious, for which Wilson was nominated as Best Horror Actor in the 2011 Scream Awards. He reprised his role in the 2013 sequel, a box office hit just like the original. Wilson became more popular when he starred in 2013's smash hit The Conjuring as Ed Warren, a real-life demonologist in tandem with his wife Lorraine. It paved the way for Wilson to play the character again in The Conjuring 2 in 2016, and this year in Annabelle Comes Home, which is part of the Conjuring Universe franchise. The versatile actor caps his 2019 by headlining another horror film, In the Tall Grass, his first ever Stephen King movie adaptation. Starring in a freaky movie based on the work authored by the King of Horror, indeed makes Wilson a certified Scream King. Number 1. The story is one of the most disturbing horror tales of King. Horror junkies, get ready for a scream fest. Stephen King and his son's novella In the Grass is reputed to be one of his most disturbing horror tales yet, and its movie version is sure to freak you out. It centers on teenage siblings Becky and Cal DeMuth, who go on a cross-country trip during spring break after Becky finds out she's pregnant. They stop at numerous tourist spots until they come across a field of tall grass in Kansas. Behind the tall grass emanates a cry of a boy named Tobin calling for help. Cal walks into the field hoping to rescue Tobin, and the pregnant Becky soon follows after her brother. Once they're trapped in a maze-like field surrounded by tall grass, they discover that strange forces are at work. Space is warped so that one minute they are together and the next they are miles apart. Strange occurrences befall and the siblings, and the tall grass hinders them from escaping the most disturbing terrors one can ever imagine. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video with your friends and subscribe to our channel for your daily dose of voodoo videos.